Hey you going guys, Mason from Downunder Lumix coming back at you with another video. So I've been off, had a bit of a break from doing some videos, just been doing a bunch of coaching in the sky and the tunnel now that COVID's kind of eased off up here in Australia, so getting back into that stuff. So for today's video we're going to start talking about tracking and beginner tracking, so learning to go from belly flying and just starting to track and move. How to get out of the belly tracking position into more of a steeper position, and just some things that's going to happen to you when you do this, and what to be aware of. Cool, so hope you enjoy. Stay tuned if you want to check it out. Alright, so the first thing we are going to talk about today for the video is exiting. We'll go on after then a bit about just choosing the direction, how you can see that, and then the positions and all kind of stuff like that. Okay, so for the exit, generally what I do is I don't bother trying to get them to do, or when you're learning, don't bother trying to do a tracking exit straight away. First you want to learn how to track. So if you can't do the position yet, you're not going to be able to exit into the position either. It's very rare someone nails a belly position when they're getting out of the plane first off. That's why we take them out with instructors. So once they learn the position, then they can jump out and voila, you can belly fly. So it's the same with this. So just get out, belly fly, come together, turn, choose your heading, same as what it is on during your aft stages, and then start just doing the track for the whole jump. Okay, as you get more comfortable doing the tracking itself, then you can start incorporating that into your exit stuff. Okay, but that's not about this one. This one's the stage before, so just tracking. Okay, so you'll see this guy where I'm jumping with, I'm pretty sure his name was Benedict, could have been Bernard. Dude out from Byron, he's got about probably 40 jumps, I think, maybe 50. I have a feeling we're going to get to know each other quite well anyway, so I will remember your name properly. But cool dude, learns very quick. Boom, seats exit, nice and stable. Okay, coming down the hill there, we come together. Now, perfect, okay, nice and stable. It's not losing height, not trying to get out and tumbling. Where am I? Where's my direction? You can quite clearly see where the heading is. You can see the planes off there still moving. Okay, now you can see a couple major landmarks, the road. Okay, this beach here. Okay, you got some mountains over here. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to get at here. Is it's really important to, when you're going up in the plane, look at what else is around. Not just look at what the DZ, where the DZ is and the things directly around that, but look at the landmarks. Okay, so the beaches and stuff like this. Okay, now if we check out some of the beaches and we press play a bit longer, you can see there's two beaches here. Now if you're going to use these as your heading, okay, you can see the two different directions. So if you mistake one of these and you're not sure 100% which one's which, you can quite easily go somewhere you're not meant to. Okay, so if we look up here, there's a plane going. Okay, so that's jump run there. Jump runs along this kind of road here, but the road's turned, so that's why it's really important as you're going up to look out the window and check out all the terrain, so you can pick headings in the distance. Even if it's cloudy, sometimes you know where you are at all times. Okay, anyway, so that's how I usually pick my headings, these ones. Different objects, there's a lot more that comes into it too. So we're going to track 90 degrees off jump run. That way we have no chance of running into someone else. We've gone clearly away. So we open and clear our space. Okay, starting to move. Now, I'm going to pause it here and we're going to go over a couple things really quickly. Now you'll see this general position here. So now we're going to talk about positions. Position versus range. Okay. Now if we start drawing a bit of a shape. Cool. And that's our shape. You can see his arms kind of like out here like this. Okay, it's one shape he's created with his body. Now the opposite to this shape would be something like this. Okay, that's his mouth there and his eyes. Well, eyes probably on top of his forehead, but you get the point. Okay, so belly, belly. Alright, and then we have an in-between which would be flat. So obviously he's doing this range at the moment. This is the style that he's doing, and this is the style that a lot of people do when they're learning to track in the beginning. Okay, a lot of people will tell them put your legs down, push your legs into the wind, move your arms back, all sorts of things. But these are the different ones. Okay, the wind hits each one different. Okay, different aerodynamics are going to cause different things to happen, different reactions, because of what pressure or whatever you expose to the surface area of the wind. Now this position here, you'll see he's probably going to be falling a little bit more like that. So he's not really tracking very far, because you can see he's losing a little lift on the legs out the back. He's kind of braking a little bit with the arms, okay, so that's drag there. A lot of people think put pressure on the wind to go faster, hold the wind, but pressure equals drag, and drag is slowing you down. Just remember that one, okay? Now this one here is cupping a little bit more, so it's more like the profile of a wing. So you're probably going to be getting actually a little bit of air going over the top of his rig too, and over the top of the back, whereas it's all hitting in the belly. Okay, so this dude here, he's probably going to go more in this direction. He's not going to go that direction, obviously, but he's going to go further. Okay, so this direction, realistically, is still going down. You know, he's still going down. Okay, and this one's more of an intermediate. Now, this is the shape that we try to aim towards eventually. Okay, the reason is we can then, if we want to go up or down, we can just flatten that shape out, or we can steepen that shape up. Okay, now this position here, I'm going to get rid of these real quick. Hang on a sec. Bring that back slightly. So 1, 2, and we have 3. Well, that's a shocking one, but you get the point. This position here is quite similar to this position. Okay, there's various ranges. Go faster, slower, all sorts of things. The outface position for the tunnel. Okay, so you can learn to track in the tunnel. Believe me, it's just navigate. You can't do it. So these are the similar positions with this, if I draw them correctly. Okay, and this is different than this, for example. The reason is the surface area of the shins compared to the torso is the same. Compared to this one is very similar to this now we have down here, where the legs are taken out of the equation, so you're not getting any drive. You'll see a lot of people sometimes leading angles and they're in this position, and everyone on their back they're all slowing out and trying to stall, and it's because the person's actually not going anywhere, they're just going straight down. Yeah, although it looks like they're going steep, they don't, and then when they go on a jump where it looks faster, they get left behind, okay, because they're just used to stalling and going steep rather than actually moving through the sky. So old mate's here, he's probably going to be more like this, whereas old mate here, he's probably going to be more this direction. Excuse the writing again. Okay, so we get the various positions here. Now if we go back to it, let's just play the video, and I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it afterwards, but we'll just play and watch what happens, okay? In fast. Sorry, it's 360 and it's a bit of a pain. Great for debriefing when it's in this mode. Oh, can everyone see what's kind of starting to happen? So he's flying good there, nice and fast. Pop the hips. Okay, we're going to go through this in a second. I'm going to break it down. See that reaction that happened there? Okay, those changes where he started moving, what kind of shape he started doing and creating before, from what I mentioned before. Cool, so yeah, it wasn't perfect, but what we're aiming for is just to feel the positions and starting to learn to associate the different shapes and the different reactions and the different pressures and all this kind of stuff in our mind. I'm just rewinding it at the moment. Okay, so we'll start here. I go under him on my back. Cool. Alright. Now, from what I want to say next is I don't want anyone to think what I'm saying here there's right or wrong. Just this happens when you do that. Okay, when you're trying to learn to fly, you really want to try and think about walking down the path of experimentation rather than expectation. So try something and see what happens rather than expect something from something you've never done. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. So a lot of the people go, why isn't this working? They're doing a movement and it's just not working. It's because guess what? That's not the movement. Yeah, so you're better off going, I wonder what happens if I do this. Whoa, okay, I didn't expect that. Do it again, repeat it. Whoa, okay, that didn't happen. Whoa, oh wow, I've got the control for this. Experiment rather than expect. Okay. So if we can see here, this is the position I was talking about before. Boom, boom. If you ever get stuck on what you need to do next, just draw it on your computer, just like this, overlay it. You can draw the shapes. Oh, and that's what's happened. Now he's got his arms out. So these arms are what's slowing him down. So they're back because he's making him go forward. So he's taking the surface area away from up here on the front, so where his arms usually would be. It's a really shitty drawing, but and he's bringing them back. So he's got slight forward movement, but he's still got pressure on them because the wind here is hitting them. So if you think about it, when he starts flying, see how he's cupping the wind with his hand? He's going straighter. Essentially, that's like trying to be a shuttlecock. Okay. More aerodynamic at the back, that's what we're trying to turn our body into, is being a shuttlecock. So we're making it more aerodynamic, so the heavier part starts weighing down and it starts going a bit steeper. So essentially, when you pull your arms out and you start trying to hold the wind, it's like you trying to have a shuttlecock with some wing on the front, okay? And it's going to make it wobbly, it's going to make it buck around and wobble a little bit. So to release that, you have to kind of release the pressure. That's what a lot of people mean by relaxing, is just releasing that drag, okay? And the arm's still going to be there, it's just going to look a bit more like this. So the wind's going to flow off it a lot more. So you're causing less turbulence, trying to put less pressure on the wind. So pressure, if you feel pressure equals drag. It means you're slowing yourself down. That's a good indicator, okay? Cool, so you can see those hands, that's what's kind of bucking him. Now I start telling him in a second, all right, he's good, he's got his arms back, that's good. Now we're going to work on this next thing. Relax your arms. So you relax the arms, that's what I'm saying there with them. Push your hips. So the next thing now, to go from the position of, if we draw it from this side now, if we go from the position of this, to get from that position to, say, this position, or in reality, this position, a lot of people will say you should put your legs and your shins down and bending the knees. But what can happen when you bend your knees and bend the shins down? A lot of people will end up flying this position. They go real steep, and that's when they start stalling. Okay, so you really want to think about continuing to have this leg as much as you can in the wind, all right? Because otherwise they forget about this. So don't just push them down, but bring the hips back. So if you bring the hips back, automatically, if this part here stays, and this part here on the head stays, and this part here on the hip goes this direction, then you end up in a position that would look something like this. Okay? The arms come back. Hope that makes sense and it's clear enough for everyone to see there. So now let's see what happens when he does do that. Okay, so I'm saying push your hips back. You can see there already my legs are slightly bent. Okay, just showing the reaction. So first, if you're coaching, you want to lead stuff like this, think about demonstrate and then do. So explanation, demonstration, and then experimentation. Now you get to experiment and test. So very good, fast position. His legs, arms are back, his legs are back. And now let's watch him. Hips, hips. Ready? Remember where we said it would go last time? Would it go steeper, forwards, or down? Oh, and see him start shooting off. Good, that's what you want. Now he's bucking a little bit. You can see here what also starts happening. Okay, which a lot of people say put your head down. He's gone steeper, but now he's more of a shape. He's gone from this shape to slightly here, bend, and then up. Okay, but his head's up a little bit still. So the next stage would be to pull that head down. Not necessarily put the chin to the chest, because if his head's like this and he puts his chin to the chest, he's going to go like that. You don't want to do that. You want to go up. So you're essentially just straightening the body. Okay, and then the chin will come down. You'll hit a lot of the wind on top of the head. The controls are going to be a bit weird. So you can see how he's flapping. The flapping's normal. It's fine. Just because, whoa, it's a new feeling, yeah? It's a new feeling. It's completely normal. So he's going to go back in between. I would recommend if you go and do this, just do this same jump. Get out, pick your heading, Okay, good. And then slowly go in, feel what it feels like when you go steep, and then go flatter again. Go back to it. Go again. Don't do this in 10 ways and 2 ways and 6 ways and 4 ways. Go out 2 ways. Do it in 2 ways. Go out and just do it with your mate. Yeah, go out, find a coach. Don't just wing it. Go see someone at your drop zone and go, hey, I want to try this. What do you reckon? Can you give me some pointers as well? Because yeah, not all people are going to want you to go and practice what you see on YouTube. Which I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. Cool, so he's starting to get those hips back. Okay, the good thing is these shins are exposed. Tracking off. Alright, so this is a good entryway into it. Just getting to feel those hips. Okay, you can see these arms here, tension. But remember, if it's your first time, you're going to be tense, you're going to be freaking out, you're like, ooh, breathing heaps. So the biggest thing to do, calm your mind, breathe. Okay, back in, see what it feels like. Okay, come back out. Really think about the shins. Are they exposed? Do you feel pressure or wind on them? Do you feel tense with the hips? Don't bend your knees up to break. Keep them straight and just try to get more and more stable. Hold that fast position each time for a little bit more each time. Cool. So without rambling too much, as this is already long enough, if you have any questions, guys, stick them down in the comment section. Okay. For sure, there's going to be things I've missed. If there's anything you want me to cover or anything like that, let me know. And I'll try and do some videos on some other stuff that you're all interested in. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. It was educational enough and I wasn't rambling too much. Jeez, enjoy guys.